Hello and welcome to Lansdowne Roar, and welcome to the very first episode of our League of Ireland podcast. This is the League of Ireland 2025 preview. I'm David Dunn, joined here by Conor McAvoy. Now, before we get started, just want to remind you guys to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just hit that subscribe button below. Also hit a like. We very much appreciate it. And you can follow us on our other platforms of Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And of course, Conor, as you know from Rec Tracker on Twitter and Facebook, head over there and you can see how the boys and girls in green of the current and the future are doing. Right, let's get into it. Conor, episode 1, the League of Ireland podcast that we're going to do every week, because why not? League of Ireland is growing. We want to grow with it. And after a fantastic season last season, a fantastic end to the season last season, we're hoping for much, much more. How excited are you, Conor?
Yeah, Max, I'm buzzing for it now. We've a huge weekend of League of Ireland games coming up. Games Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I think it's about time we've jumped on and done a League of Ireland podcast, because it's been in demand. The league is growing. It's one of the most entertaining, crazy leagues in Europe, I would say. So no, it's good to finally, we'll be doing our weekly podcast, sit down with each other and talk about all the craziness. I'm sure we'll have a huge drama this weekend in the first weekend already. So no, I'm looking forward to it now, Dave.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We're going to talk about those, go through those fixtures. We're also going to talk about how you can watch it wherever you are around the world, and if you're living in Ireland, and the TV and all that kind of thing. Just to get off the bat, just to get off to, I suppose, an honest start. I'm not an expert in the League of Ireland. I'm a Pats fan. I'm going to put it out there. I used to live just down the road from Inchicore and used to go see them when I lived in Ireland, but I haven't watched it for some time, and I'm really looking forward to getting into it. So I'm not going to claim I'm an expert here, folks, before you start butchering me in the comments. Conor is our expert, as he normally. Look at you sitting there all smug. But I am going to watch the league every week. I'm going to give it the respect it deserves. I'm going to watch it, and I want to learn, and I want to grow my knowledge of the League of Ireland, and hopefully every week you guys are going to grow with us too. But yeah, let's get into it. I mean, you spoke about, what should we start with? Should we go with the games or how we watch it, Conor? You choose.
I think go with the games.
We'll go with the games. So the first League of Ireland fixtures will be on Friday. And of course, we've got Cork City against Galway United. That's in Turner's Cross. That's a 7:45 kickoff. Shelbourne are against Derry City. That's at Tolka Park. And St. Pat's are at home to Drogheda United. And of course, that is in Richmond Park. They're all 7:45 kickoffs. If you want to watch those games, you can head over to the League of Ireland Pass. There you can get 2025 season pass, available now for €99. Here are the options. And we're going to put a link below in the description of this video. Now, we're not being sponsored by the League of Ireland. Just want to say that. Not yet, anyway. Wink, wink. But we want to help support the league and grow the league. So here are your 3 options. Annual pass, €99. Best value. Spread the cost, but you have to sign up for 12 months, $9.99. And of course, monthly access is $12.99. That is where you don't sign up for the year, but you pay a little bit extra. I mean, I think it's great value, Conor, isn't it? We talk about the excitement. They're going to have highlight packages, all the games, except, I believe, for the Virgin Media matches. I think we're still trying to find a little bit of clarity on that, but it's fantastic value nonetheless, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy value, to be honest with you. Like, it's gone down in price from last year as well, which is considering the league growing. It's obviously, the demand for it is huge. It's great. Like, it supports clubs, it supports the league, it helps everything grow. It's like, when you compare to major leagues across Europe, the money you pay to watch that, like just for a Sky Sports subscription, for example, or TNT, you'd be paying over that price a month to even watch football in England. So it's huge value. I think it's worth every penny you pay, and you can watch any match at any time, really. So no, I think it's unbelievable value, and it's something that's well worth investing €100 in, which is, in terms of a general 12-month season, it's pennies.
Yeah, and if you love your football, if you love your Irish football, it is a great way. Just remember, with the League of Ireland here, and we are going to get to the games, I do swear, but with the League of Ireland, without the League of Ireland, you wouldn't have players like Roy Keane, Seamus Coleman, Paul McGrath, Ronnie Whelan, James McLean. All these players. Mace Amelia, who is on his way to Spurs in January 2026, the first ever £1 million player from the League of Ireland, which is fantastic. We'll talk a little bit about that later on as well. The League of Ireland is really, I think it was called the problem child of the FAI, Conor, but I saw a comment saying it's actually now the prodigal son. It was an article in the Independent, the Irish Independent, and it is. It's the popularity is growing. It's fantastic. It's a good product as well. It's not perfect. It needs investment. It needs support. So why not get behind? If you have a local team, I know not every county has a team, which is an issue, but it's something they are trying to improve. But get behind a team, get behind a league, because this is the absolute grassroots of football in Ireland and the Irish team. But anyway, enough about that. But of course, the link for that is below in the description of this video. So do give it a click. Right, Conor, enough self-flagellation. Let's get on with it. Shelbourne, of course, at home to Derry City. I mean, Derry City ran Shelbourne for a fair bit of last season, didn't they? Fell away in the end. It became a two-horse race between Shelbourne and Rovers last season. But of course, that's a talk of park. That's obviously the pick, isn't it, of the Friday night fixtures?
Yeah, it is. It's a rematch now of the last game of the season. Obviously, it's a flipped venue, but no, it's a huge way to start the season, and it's one that I think everyone's excited for because Derry have invested heavily in the off season. The new manager in Tiernan Lynch has replaced Rory Higgins, and I think Higgins' time at Derry was up. Like, they realistically, with the squad they had last season and the position they were in, they should have really won that league, in my opinion, because their squad is so talented. And now when you look at this season, they've invested very heavily. A lot of questions on about older players. They're bringing in quite a very experienced squad. If you've seen a lot of players over the age of 30, which is getting the piss ripped out of them a bit on the internet, but very talented squad. They should push Shells very far on Friday night, and I'm sure we've seen with Shells last Friday in the President's Cup. They really do look like a team that's ready to not give up on their crown, and I do think they will surprise a few people this season. A lot of people think that they're gonna fall away, so I don't think will happen.
Yeah, no, I agree. I did watch the President's Cup on Friday. I was in the south coast of England watching it there, and I thought Shelbourne were very impressive. On the other hand, I thought Drogheda were absolutely dreadful. We'll talk more about that in a second. But yeah, I thought Shelbourne were very, very good. They look hungry. They play a bit of decent stuff. Well, they were trying to anyway. The pitch wasn't great at all. Obviously, they've had the issues with the storm lately there, but they looked good. Obviously, they have Mipo Obadeko as well. He looked impressive. And of course, they ran it. I thought they were actually. I thought I was surprised by the scoreline. Actually, I thought it was gone when it was 2-0, and Derry went down to 10 men. I thought it was going to be 5 or 6. I thought it was going to be 5 or 6 anyway, regardless of having 11 players on the pitch. But I think they just took the foot off the gas a bit, didn't they? They went, you know what, game's done, it's over. We got a big game coming up against Derry in the opener. We want to get off to the best of starts.
Yeah, 100%. They're probably realistically, I'd say Duff, knowing what Duff's like, his elite mentality, probably was disappointed if it only finished 2 in the end. And I think we've seen with Meepo's introduction to the League of Ireland, he looks well up for it after years of just been stuck in a place of not living up to potential. He seems to be a huge asset to Shells this year, and they've strengthened well. They look ready. They're hungry. I'm sure a Champions League qualification will be a big inspiration for them now in the summertime. So I'd expect them probably to beat Derry on Friday night, or I don't expect them to lose, is what I'd say anyway. I don't think they'll lose on Friday night because I think they have the momentum from last season carrying over. Plus, they have Friday night will be a big boost because it's like themselves and Drogheda have kind of got I know it's only one game, but it's a slight head start in my opinion because they've got that competitive feeling. They've fans in the ground. They're soaking up the atmosphere already, whilst Derry will be coming from playing friendlies all off season, and we don't know how because they've made drastic changes to their squad, a new manager, so you don't know how long that will take to adjust. So what I'd say is I expect Shells to win on Friday. I think it's very unlikely that they lose the game, but as we've seen in the League of Ireland, it's a crazy league. You never know what's going to happen.
No, you don't. Full of twists and turns, which makes it all the more exciting. But yeah, I think Drogheda are going to be in serious trouble. But yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. We're going to move it on to the Saturday and, of course, Sunday games. The game on Saturday is Sligo Rovers at home to Waterford. How do you see that one going, Conor?
It's a good question on that one because I think that one's a bit unpredictable. Because Sligo's off season has been a bit treacherous. Like they've lost they lost like Ed McGinty's gone to Shamrock Rovers. Jack Henry Francis, who I thought was possibly the best player in the league the last 3 months of the season, has gone back to Arsenal, which I do hope he could possibly come back, as he's not left Arsenal on loan again. He was away with their first team in Dubai training, but League of Ireland's transfer window obviously doesn't close until 22nd. So hopefully we'll see him back in the League of Ireland, because we don't want him rotting away in Arsenal's under 21s. So no, Waterford have strengthened well again. So Tommy Longeran will be a good addition to the strike force. But obviously they've lost Conor Parsons, who's somehow ended up at Bowes after signing for Dagenham and Redbridge a month ago. So no, I do. It's kind of a game I could probably see being a 0-0 draw or a 4-3. I don't think it'll be anything in between. I think it could be a real entertaining game, or it could be very boring 0-0.
That's just the League of Ireland summed up, really, in a nutshell. And of course, the Saturday we have the showpiece game, Bohemians against Shamrock Rovers. That is at the Aviva Stadium, Lansdowne Road. And of course, for that one, at the moment, trying to find a bit of information about that. Apparently, 25 tickets sold. That's according to Bose.
Not 25. Jeez, I hope there's more than 25 people turning up.
25,000. 25,000.
25.
Well, maybe a few years ago. No, 25,000 tickets have been sold for the game at Lansdowne Road. Just a little fun fact on that. It is on its way to being the most attended League of Ireland game, which was, the previous record was 28,000, and that was between Cork Hibernians and Shamrock Rovers. That was a playoff game at Dalymount in 1971. Mad to think, actually, that Dalymount could hold nearly 30,000 when he used to have the Irish internationals there. Anyway, so massive game. Bit of controversy about this, of course, with other fans saying that it's an unfair advantage. I think we're both in agreement, and Martin as well, that this is a great idea to have it at Lansdowne Road. I know this is a Rovers home match, isn't it? So they've given up home advantage.
Bowes home match.
Sorry, Bowes home match. So they've given up home advantage, but they've obviously, Bohemians, they're known for thinking outside the box, especially in marketing campaigns. So obviously they play their part in here. And let's be honest, I know some fans are giving out about other clubs, but this is what the league needs, isn't it? It needs that showpiece. It needs to show it off in a lovely stadium like Lansdowne Road. And as I've said before, a high tide lifts all boats.
Yeah, and it's investment at the end of the day into the club. Like, they've sold out Dalymount Park now, what multiple times would be what the tickets they've sold in the Viva. So no, it's going to be great investment in the club. It's not just a showpiece. It's not just advertisement for the club in a brilliant stadium. It's investment. It's money they're going to take in now, and they're going to make money from this. And hopefully it's something now we probably can do every year at the start of the year. Maybe is a game at the start of the season at the Viva. But as I've said to you, Dave, I don't want it to happen now 3-4 times a year, because I think that'll lose the glamour to it. I think it's something that has to happen once, maybe at the end of the season. And to be honest, you need big clubs, like you need like Bowes and Rovers is a huge game to it. I don't think you can put any old League of Ireland game in it, but I think it's going to be a great day, and it's going to be a great audition for the League of Ireland to show we're not here to mess about.
Absolutely, and we have said this is absolutely going in the right direction there. The only thing I could think of, maybe if, I don't know, there was a game overwhelmingly sold, where they could maybe get 30, 40,000. I'm not saying that will happen this year, but probably that would be the only time I would. Although it might happen on Sunday, to be fair. Maybe that would justify having it in the Aviva, Lansdowne Road, having it there. But yeah, I think the showpiece, I think maybe they could do something with the champions and the runners-up or something like, I don't know, a way around it where this happens once a year at the start of the season, just to show it off. But no, I think it's a great initiative, and looking forward to that game on Sunday. How do you think it's going to
go? I've flipped opinions on it multiple times. I think if Lise Musset turns up, it could be a very interesting game. Rovers obviously have the game tomorrow in Europe, which will be, in my opinion, will be their main focus, because when you can ever get the knockout stage of a European competition, especially Rovers off season, has been quite underwhelming in my opinion. Like, not replacing Johnny Kenny with a proven striker is a very, very tough position that they're in. So no, I think we could see an upset. I think we could see Bowes win on Sunday.
Oh, what do you make of Bowes? Did you see here that I think it was just announced today, wasn't it, that they've gone with Guinness
Yeah,
as a sponsor. Martin has always been on about it, hasn't he?
yeah,
He wants Guinness involved in Irish football. Well, there you go, Martin.
yeah,
I believe this is the first team they sponsored since Cork City back in the early 90s.
yeah. I believe so. I think you're right.
I
My first
mean,
League of Ireland team, I think. Anyway,
yeah, it was QPR for a bit in the early 90s as well in the first division. But there they are. I mean, it's fantastic. So they replaced Des Kelly, have they?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's just for this one-off kit. I don't quote me on this, but I think it's just that one-off kit has been is a Guinness special as such. But it's a gorgeous jersey. Like I think it's very nice and it's classy, and I think it's something that still resonate now. People with around the world will see a Guinness logo on a jersey and think, "Oh, well, I might buy that." So fair play to Bows. They always prove well with their kits, and they always do something outside the box. And I know they get a lot of slagging for it, but sometimes it can work out to be a very good thing. And I think that's a lovely kit. Obviously, they probably won't wear it on Sunday because they're the home team, but it'd be a nice jersey now to see. And it's good to see O'Neill's are making it as well, which gives that extra Irish
Yeah, the
spice
old
to it.
crest.
But I think just on Bows in general, I think they've secretly gone out with having one of the best off seasons in the League of Ireland, and I think Lise Mousset is the name that's grabbed everyone's attention over the last couple of weeks. So it's going to be a very very exciting year for Bows because a lot of people were questioning what are Bows going to do? Are they going to get dragged to the relegation fight? But I think they've now pushed to it. They're going to push for a top four place in the League of Ireland.
Yeah. Speaking of which, let's have a look at, well, who do we think, Conor? Who's going to win? Who's going to win the League of Ireland?
I'd love to be controversial here and say someone silly, but I just think Pats are going to win it. I think Pats could end up running away with it. To be honest, I just think
Really?
Stephen Kenny's squad in League of Ireland, with the squad they have, is absolutely exceptional. With Mason Melia being a year older, Aidan Keena being a superb striker, that's a superb front two to have. Or if it's rotating between the two, I think Pats could end up winning the league quite comfortably. It's just they have an excellent squad with an excellent manager, and I just don't see it getting any weaker anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you on that one. I am a Pats fan, but yeah, I mean, last season, I know when Kenny came in last season, people were like, really? And people forget he is an excellent League of Ireland manager. I mean, this guy has won, just looking at his honours list there, he's won the League of Ireland First Division with Derry. He's won the cup with he won the league itself with Bows. He's won the cup at Longford Town. Look what he did at Dundalk. He won the division 4 times, runner up twice out of that. Did fantastic things with those guys in Europe as well. Just he's a huge pedigree in the League of Ireland, and even last season they won 11 on the bounce, didn't they? Like, bit of a bad start. I watched the game against Shelbourne at Richmond Park. I watched it here in the flat in London, and they weren't great, but they warmed up. Actually, put on a late charge towards Europe. Won 7 on the bounce, and so far they've had a quite impressive preseason as well. They've played 6. They've been unbeaten in. Sorry, they played 6. They're unbeaten. Played 6, won 4, drawn 2. And I think they're going really well. And I think just with him at the helm with Kenny, and I know some Ireland fans might be watching this going, really? But no, he's an excellent League of Ireland manager. So I'm going to go with you in that one.
I think he's just an excellent manager in general. I think we have to say, Dave, because I know it's the international thing didn't work out, but you can tell. I think just club football is his forte of such work with players every day and in his style. And he's shown at club level now that it was a big shock to me now that he came back to the League of Ireland, because I thought he would have had hoppers further afield but I think he's put himself, hopefully he hasn't put himself in the back in the shop window, but there probably will be in the next year or two if he can win the title, if he can get Pats to a group stage of Europe, which is he was so close to doing last season. So I think King Kenny might take over the League of Ireland again.
It might do, but I mean, it's got to be competitive. Like 3 excellent managers at the helm there, with Kenny. Damien Duff obviously showing his credentials as well. What an excellent manager. I mean, it's not really a surprise with Damien Duff, is it? What I am surprised with Damien Duff is this caricature he plays of himself. I don't buy any of that. He knows exactly what he's doing. Listen, he played under Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho. He's not Spanish. He would have seen how he would have acted in that persona with the press that he gives off. But when, Jose is quite a nice guy, actually, we speak to him away from that. So he's playing a caricature of himself. I totally get it. I was drunk when I signed the contract for the last league. That's bollocks. I don't believe any of that. This guy knows what he's doing. He was an excellent coach up at Celtic. He was very well revered. He's very well revered by his colleagues with Ireland. Unfortunately, he did leave under a cloud. But I am surprised by his bullish nature. But I think he's an excellent coach. And of course, Stephen Bradley speaks for himself. Were they going for 4 in a row last season?
They were going for 5 in a row.
5 in a row. Sorry. My
And
League
they
of Ireland.
very nearly got it in the last day of the season. But it wasn't for Harry Wood's late goal up in the Brandywell. So
And you
it's
consider the start they had as well last season. They were shockingly bad, Shamrock Rovers, weren't they? So it's 3 top.
It shows how the league can just turn around that fast. Like, because Shell started so well and then started to fall off. And I think that's why people are starting to somewhat rule them out this year, because they've seen the run Rovers went in Europe, and Pats, the way they just, for the final 12 games or 11 games, whatever it was, they were by far the best team in the league. They just, if the league had started from there, they would have walked it. So I think people are starting to rule Shells out because of that. But Shells have secretly went out and done a very, very good off season. Duff, as he said himself, it's the toughest he's made a pre-season. He's made sure this is the best pre-season yet, because of he doesn't want lads to fall away. And the addition of Meepo up front seems to have rejuvenated Everton as well. It's like if he can start scoring goals in the League of Ireland, he could be one of the best players in the league. And if you have one of the best players in your league as a striker, he'll always have a chance of winning games and winning the league. So I expect Pats just to eventually get away from the rest, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if Shells and Shamrock Rovers were right in the title race until the last day at the same time.
Fair. Who do you think's going down?
It's a question I've him in a hand, and who do I think will actually go down? I do think Sligo need to improve before the end of the window, which I hope they will, because I don't think they've replaced the lads they've missed very well. Obviously, Bows, I think, have done enough to get themselves out of that position. So I think it's between Drogheda and Cork. And at the moment, I would lean towards Cork. I do think Cork just haven't done enough in the off-season to sign players that could make that difference. They've got a lot of lads in that I don't know whether they'll actually adapt to the League of Ireland well and show their talent-wise. But hopefully it won't be it'll be a case of Cork or rock bottom, and we'll know from 2 months in that they're finishing bottom of the league. Hopefully it's a bit of a drama to it, but I think it'll end up being Cork will finish last.
Yeah, I'm going to go Drogheda because they were absolutely dreadful. They were so bad against Shells. They really couldn't string 2 passes together. It was so bad. And it wasn't a question of if they'd lose, it was by how many. And got off lightly, I think, with 2-0. And also, they're in Europe as well, aren't they? They're the cup winners. And I think it's just going to be a massive strain on them. I don't think they're going to be able to handle it. They're going to end up with a deluge of fixtures, and it's just going to hit them hard. So I reckon it's going to be dry. Could be wrong, but that's what I think. Yeah. Top goal scorer.
I've said it for the last 6 weeks. I think Meepo Odabiko is going to finish as top goal scorer of the League of Ireland. I think people are writing him off too early and thinking. I think we all seen last Friday that he looks well up for it and looks like he could score goals for fun in this league this year. And if you compare it to last season or season before that, we never see now yet. There's lads who can score 15, 20 goals really this season, but now I think anyone could really, we could have Padraig Almond could win it, Meepo could win it, Aidan Keena could win it, Lise Mousset could win it. If Rovers go and sign a striker because of the talent they have to creating chances, they could finish with someone as a top goal scorer. So I think the race for the Golden Boot this year is going to be very interesting. And it's going to be something that I think that everyone's going to be excited for. But I think Meepo's going to do it. I have a feeling he's going to take the league by storm this year.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you on that one. I was going to say Lise Mousset, but I'm looking at his record here. He hasn't had a club for 13 months. And now he's signed for Bows. He was once rated for 10 million quid, wasn't he? I think Sheffield United got him for 10 million, didn't they?
Yeah, 10 million, yeah.
So, that was for the Premier League as well. I don't know. I haven't seen much. Looking at his record here, he scored 9 goals in 48 games. Then he went to Salernitana. I think I'm saying that incorrectly. 4 games on loan. VfL Bochum, no games. Went to Nimes on loan. 11 games, 1 goal. Now he's at Bows. He doesn't really have a very impressive... And he's 29, doesn't really have an impressive... he's 28. He doesn't really have an impressive record. I mean, it could click and he could absolutely smash the league, but I think that would be doing great disrespect to the league because he's not going to find it easy.
Just touch up. It's a tough league to score goals. People act like just because it's not Premier League, it's
Yeah.
you should be scoring. It's a tough league. The way the style of football is, the way defenders are, it's and the way the pitches are as well. Because some of the pitches aren't of the highest standard. It does make it hard for attackers to score goals, which you see.
Yeah, and I think people will be shocked by the quality of football that is played. I said, look, Drogheda were dreadful in the President's Cup, but Shelbourne looked tidy. They looked a very useful team, very compact. Like, from what I could see, we're playing through the middle. I thought they were, these guys play football. Of course, you've got St. Pat's will play out from the back. We know how Kenny plays, and Rovers have their style. So I do think he's going to struggle. Now, it could be wrong. He could absolutely smash it and get his career on track, and then he's back off to Ligue 1 for Stade Ram. Young player of the year, Conor.
I don't know if it's a young player of the year, but definitely I think the young player that I think could, because I don't think he'd be there the whole season, is Cahill O'Sullivan with Cork, or Cahill if you were from Cork, you'd say. But no, I think as we seen last year in the first division, he was absolutely exceptional. His left foot is a wand. He's a magician of a footballer, and I think as soon as he cuts in on his left foot, we all know what's going to happen. He's going to curl one in the top corner and the bottom corner, and obviously he turns 18, I believe, in March, so it's very likely he won't be at Cork beyond, I don't know, June, July time. So I know there's heavy interest in him from top clubs all around Europe, and hopefully he can carry that form over to this Premier Division, because it is a massive step up from the first division to the Premier Division. But there's not an I see in his game that makes me think that he won't adapt very well, and he won't relish the pressure of playing against top Premier Division players. Obviously, another one I think is if Jack Henry Francis comes back to the League of Ireland this season, what that lad is as a footballer, he's absolutely exceptional, and he's a joy to watch. So hopefully, I hope for Sligo's sake to get him back in, and if not, obviously there's another lad, Thomas Morley at Sligo. I think is an excellent young player. Thought he was absolutely exceptional for the Ireland under-19s in the qualifiers. There playing with alongside some top players, and I thought he was one of the standout players in that midfield. And hopefully he'll get a chance now in Sligo's first team this season, because I think that's a player I have high hopes for in the League of Ireland.
Fair. I'm going to go with the very fast food answer. I'm going to go with Mason Melia. You ain't going to be you ain't going to be I know you won it last year, but you ain't. He did win it last year, didn't he? Young player of the year.
He did, yeah.
You're not going to be the first £1 million player of the League of Ireland without having something about you. And I think he is the boy who's going to do it again. I'm really looking forward to watching him closely this season to see what Spurs have, what they've got. I know they're quite excited by it as well, aren't they, over there? So, he's a hell of a talent. Last but not least, the FAI Cup. I'm going to say a Pats League and Cup double.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. That's not a bold shout at all. I think that's probably what most people say. I thought you were going to say something bold there with the finger point, but no, I think I'm going to go with Shamrock Rovers. I think Shamrock Rovers are at the stage now that they haven't performed in the FAI Cup in quite a number of years, and that I think it'll be something now that they'll aim towards, is getting back to a FAI Cup final and pushing towards picking that up. So I would, at the moment, I would say Shamrock Rovers, because they have a very good squad. They have a lot of depth, so I don't think if they had to rotate in the cup for a game, there'd be much of a drop off in the standard. So at the moment, I would probably say Shamrock Rovers. But as you know, Dave, if we redo these picks in July time, which is only halfway through the season, really, we'll probably have completely different answers. Hopefully on the young players and the top goal scorers, but
Drogheda tearing up the league.
Yeah, Drogheda are going to be the greatest run of all time and just win every game. But
could happen.
It's the craziest league. I always say it's the craziest league. It's the most entertaining league. You cannot predict it. If you were betting on results in the League of Ireland every week, God love you, because you just don't know what's going to happen, because it's just crazy. And I think that's what makes the beauty of this league so good. And like it would, I think it brings you back to as in my generation, prime Barclays days, when anyone would beat anyone, or Dave, when you think football was in your prime and anyone would beat anyone really. But now at the moment, at high level football, it's a bit predictable, and always it seems to be the better team will always win every match, which it takes away a bit of entertainment a bit. So thankfully in the League of Ireland, it has that old school look to it, has that old school vibe. The standard of football is more traditional in that sense. Obviously there's some teams play very nice football, but it's very end to end, which I think I don't know, if you don't watch League of Ireland, I don't know why, because I think you're just deluding yourself thinking you should be watching top tier football. So no, I'm absolutely buzzing now for Friday night, and I can't wait for it to get started.
And that's it. Get behind the League of Ireland. That's what we say. And you can watch it in a multitude of ways. You can get the League of Ireland pass here, available from €99. Here are the options. There's going to be a link below. Best value, 99 quid gets you an annual pass. You can spread it over 12 months of $9.99, but you got to sign up for a 12-month contract. Or you can just pay $12.99. That is no contract. There will be a link to that below. Also, of course, RTE do not have the rights. No League of Ireland for you, RTE. Oh, no. That has gone over to Virgin Media. They have a 4-year deal over there. And I was off the ball, actually. You have radio coverage as well, exclusive deal as well. Just very quickly on that, actually. Virgin deal can only be good, isn't it? 1 game a week guaranteed to be shown live by Virgin. Fantastic, isn't it?
Huge, yeah. And like we'll have 2 games this week on it. So I think I'm delighted now that Virgin have kind of took the bull by the horns and are going to put heavy money into it, or heavy coverage at least, that we're going to see what's going to happen this year at Virgin. Because in fairness to RT, as much as we're disappointed with their coverage in general, they very rarely showed it. When they did show it, the quality was very high in terms of video, picture and presentation and stuff. So hopefully if Virgin can match that standard or even improve it whilst showing more matches, I think it'll be a huge thing for the league. And I'm absolutely delighted now that they've got this deal done.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's just all moving in the right direction, of course. And of course, we hope you will join us every week. We're going to have a League of Ireland podcast every week where we're going to go through the games, and then we're going to preview the next set of fixtures. We're not sure quite what day we're going to do this on. We're kind of new to this as well, but keep your eye out on our social media platforms. That's our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, and of course here on the YouTube channel. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe. Please hit the like button. It really does help. We're trying to grow the YouTube channel where you can have a video version of this, or you can head over to lansdowneroar.ie if you want an audio version of this, or wherever you get your podcast from. Right, we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much, Conor. Thank you guys for joining us here for our first League of Ireland podcast and the League of Ireland preview of 2025. We'll see you next week. Good night, God bless, and come on, the League of Ireland.